So you know how bears go into hibernation for a couple months at the end of the year? I'm doing something similar. I realize bears go into hibernation around like October and it's only August right now. However, I really want to set myself up for success going into the holiday season, so I'm going into my own version of hibernation, okay? Hot Girl Hibernation. And I'm going to walk you through kind of the process that I'm going through, exactly how I'm setting myself up for this, and basically like what it's going to entail, what it's going to look like, so that I can really focus on my goals over the course of the next 3 months because we have Halloween coming up. I know we all want to look sexy for that. And then a bunch of other personal things like engagement photos, a big photo shoot for work, wedding dress shopping that I myself want to prepare for. And I'm sure there are things in your life that you want to prepare for too, as well as just looking and feeling good when you look at yourself in the mirror. So, doing this now instead of waiting for that like winter arc moment towards the end of the year where we're kind of stacking new goals on top of the holiday season is really going to set us up mentally and physically for success, not just throughout the holiday season, but going into 2027. And listen, I know it's a little bit early to be talking about 2027. It's August 10th at the time that I'm recording this video. However, I don't want this to be another failed year for you. To put it bluntly, I don't want this to be another failed year for you. So, making sure that right now, halfway through the year, we circle back, make sure that we are on track to reach the goals that we've set for ourselves, not only at the beginning of 2026, but throughout 2026, and start to become versions of ourselves that we love, that we think are hot and sexy. And we're going to do that through Hot Girl Hibernation. So let's get into this. I have my little notes here so that I don't miss anything because I really want to do this together. I have all of the stuff that I have in my notes I'm going to put down in the description for you so that you have a bunch of free tools at your disposal to be able to do this together. If you have any questions, comments, concerns as we go through this video, drop them down into the comment section and I will be responding to your questions there. So step 1 is to set a goal. And I want you to get real specific with it. Have you ever heard of a SMART goal? I learned about them in middle school. I don't know if you did, but I can't shut up about them to the members of my app community, to my coaching clients, for myself. I quite literally created a journal for my ADHD ass bitches that I use every single day. And I have one sitting right here actually that has an empty page that you set 90-day goals on using the SMART goal framework. So I'm going to read through this framework for you now so that you can do this on your own. Just pull out a piece of paper, do it in your notes app, but this is going to allow you to actually set a specific goal that isn't kind of just loosey-goosey up in the air. You know what I mean? It's not just, I want to be healthier. I want to lose weight. I want to be more consistent. Bitch, what the fuck does that mean? Neither of us know. Neither of us know what that means. So we need to get really specific with the goals that we set for ourselves if we want to actually see success in them and actually see them become our reality. So this is the goal setting guide. SMART goals. It's an acronym. First of all, specific. What exactly do I want to create or change in the next 90 days? And why does it matter to me? Measurable. What signs of progress will show me I'm getting closer? Achievable. What steps or habits will make this goal realistic and or doable? Relevant. Does this goal align with the version of me that I'm becoming? Time-bound. What timeline feels both exciting and achievable? So, for example, I'm going to take you through my goal. So I have a goal. I usually chunk my goals in 30-day increments just because it's a lot easier to, first of all, celebrate them. And it doesn't feel as long to achieve something. So I usually chunk my goals into 30, 60, and 90-day goals. So I'm going to do it in reference to my 30-day goals right now. I want to lose 5 pounds in the next 30 days by eating in a calorie deficit, going to the gym 3 times per week, hitting 10,000 steps per day, getting 8 hours of sleep, and drinking 3 cups of water. And when I say 3 cups of water, I mean 3 of these bad boys. But it's a very, very specific goal that also includes my actionable steps. Now, I want you to remember that statement that I just threw at you right there, and we're going to circle back to that. I want you to get so specific with your goal. I want you to get so freaking specific with your goal and write it the fuck down. Because like I said, we're circling back. Now, let's get into step number 2, which is, I'm so sorry, somebody keeps texting me, and I'm trying to record this on my computer so I can look at my notes and talk to you at the same time, so I just put it on sleep mode so you won't be hearing the notifications in the background anymore. Again, I do apologize, but I really don't want to edit this video. I want it to be I just want it to flow, babe, okay? Anyways, sorry for the tangent. Step 2 is going to be setting your habits, okay? Now we have our very specific SMART goal in mind, and now we need to choose some things that are going to get us from point A to point B, but also some things that keep us mentally, emotionally, spiritually in check. Because when we tunnel vision too much on the physical goals, we're getting into the burnout risk zone, if you will. It's really easy to quit on yourself when you get overwhelmed with the process. And if every single one of the habits that you want to achieve on a daily basis is centered around a superficial goal, you're gonna go a little bit crazy. You're gonna go a little bit crazy, especially if it's long term, right? So first and foremost, we're not setting 15 new habits. I know it's really easy to want to become a brand new bitch overnight and see all of the things that people are doing on our timelines and think, oh, I can do this. I can wake up at 5 a.m. and go to the gym before work and drink a gallon of water and get 15,000 steps per day and do this and do that. And then we write them all down on our fucking little to-do list, and then we quit after 24 hours because we actually can't do that. We actually can't do that, especially because we weren't doing it yesterday. We weren't doing 99% of these things yesterday, and now we've gone to sleep with the hopes that tomorrow we're going to wake up a brand new bitch, and that's just simply not how it works. So, setting 3 to 5 habits that you are able to achieve that are in alignment with the person that you want to be. So, I have a little bit of a template for this. I'll put this down in the description as well so that you can follow this template. 5 habits that are in direct alignment with this ultimate goal. First and foremost, positive affirmation. So remember that statement that I said before of what my goal is? I'm going to write that on a Post-it, and I'm going to put it on my fucking bathroom mirror. Every morning when I wake up, I do my little teeth brush and my little skincare routine. I'm going to say that statement out loud to myself in the mirror. Simple as that. That's habit number 1. That's habit number 1 because it reminds me off rip first thing in the morning the standard that I'm setting for myself and the person that I want to become. That's it. That's habit number 1. Habit number 2 is your step goal. Super simple. Something that we can achieve daily, something that's realistic. For me, it's going to be 10,000 steps per day. But if you are somebody who typically struggles to get a ton of steps throughout the day, maybe you work from home, maybe you have a desk job, and you aren't used to getting a bunch of steps, and let's say your daily average is like 2,000-3,000 steps per day, I do not want you to jump. I do not want you to jump up to 6,000, 8,000, 10,000 steps per day. Now is not the time. Now is not the time. The problem with that is the fact that you currently have the habit of, let's say, 3,000 steps per day. And maybe that's just kind of naturally how things work out throughout the day. You don't really have any things that you do, like you don't get on the walking pad or the treadmill, you don't go for walks around the block, you just happen to get 3,000 steps per day. That's how the day pans out. That's your daily average. If this is the case, I want you to increase your daily step goal by 1,000 steps. Something easily tangible, something that you can start practicing every day. That's as simple as going for a 30-minute walk. And I'm talking a leisurely stroll, okay? That's as simple as hopping on the treadmill for 15, 20 minutes, going 2.5 speed after your workout. So something that is easily ingrained into your day-to-day that you can build on, right? So after 2, 3, 4 weeks of being able to do this consistently, that's when you can start to build on it. Like, okay, I got this. I know how to get 4,000 steps a day now. I can do that pretty easily. I'm going to try to go for 4,500. Do that for 2 weeks. Okay, I got this. Go for 5,000. Or maybe 4,500 is tough. Let me figure this out for another 2 weeks. And then build on it when you're ready, right? Okay, moving the fuck on. Next is your nutrition / macro goal. So this is going to change based on the person. Again, all of these are basically like, it's a template. These are very much plug and play based on what your goals are. Third is your macro nutrition goal. So this is anything surrounding nutrition or your macro goal. So for me, like I said, I'm cutting my daily habit says calorie deficit. That's it. That's my habit. Eating a calorie deficit. For you, it might be you really want to start getting vegetables in throughout the day. Have 1 meal with vegetables. You're really struggling to drink water and stay hydrated. Drink X amount of ounces of water per day or X amount of cups of water per day. So it's just something surrounding your daily diet, your daily nutrition, the way that you fuel your body. To our next habit. This is our habit for joy. Just something that makes you happy. Like, quite literally just something that you can do every day that's going to bring you a little bit of happiness, help keep you sane throughout this process. Mine is reading for 10 minutes per day. Yours could be play with the dog for a little bit. I don't know. Whatever. Do a face mask. Whatever. Just something that makes you happy. The last habit is something for growth outside of diet and nutrition. So not related to the gym in any capacity. So this could be spiritual, emotional, financial, something that's leading directly to growth in some other area, some other category of your life. So for me, it's going to be meditating. I really want to it's been a while since I've consistently meditated. And for me, meditation is my 5th habit. That's it. It is that simple. Those are the 5 habits that we are going to follow for this Hot Girl Hibernation era. Step 3, which I'm so excited about. Step 3 is build a bingo board. The next 2 things really are fun things that are going to help you visualize and map out your goals, visualize and map out the process. First, like I said, is building a bingo board. As somebody with raging ADHD, gamifying my goals, it makes me so much more productive and it makes my action steps much more effective. So instead of just writing down a list of the things that I want to achieve, I'm literally playing a game with myself. The board is filled with action steps, things that are goal adjacent and move the needle forward. So like, for example, I have my bingo board here. Some of the things that are goal adjacent are going for a run on the beach. Hello? Why can't I find another one? Oh, I want to take a spin class. I want to take 20 yoga classes over the next 90 days. So little side quests and just ways to make the process a little bit more fun and set mini goals for yourself that you can achieve outside of your usual routine. And then we have the other boxes of your bingo board, which are going to be like side quests that are joy adjacent. So for me, that's things like reading one book in 24 hours, cooking dinner for my fiance, going to a pottery class. So these are things that may not be productive, right? Because I'm going to a pottery class. What the fuck is the bowl that I'm gonna make how is that going to move the needle forward towards my goals? It's not, but it's gonna make me happy. And it's gonna pull me away from my stressors, give me moments of being present, right? So, whoo, I almost just knocked a bowl off the table. Once you complete a bingo, once you get a bingo, which is gonna be like straight down, straight across, diagonal, you can set rewards for yourself. When you get a bingo, you give yourself that reward. It could literally be anything. And then when you do it, I will link it down for you. Everything that I talk about, I'm going to link down for you in this description. Don't even worry about it. But if you're using the digital bingo board, you can actually like check off those rewards and add a photo of yourself completing that task or giving yourself that reward so that you can basically build up a visual bank of everything that you have accomplished so far. And then step 4, we have the vision board, underused and undervalued all year long. Everybody makes a vision board at the beginning of the year, puts it somewhere, forgets about it, but me, I'm making 3 or 4 of those bitches every single year, okay? I love a good vision board. I think they are such a great way to give you a visual representation of what's possible. Because while it does show you your goals, right? It also like literally shows you people accomplishing those goals, doing those things in real life. So you now have proof that those things are possible, taking away all of your excuses. There's no reason you can't do it because somebody else fucking did it. It's real. You can do it because they did it. And I think a lot of vision boards fail because they lean too heavily into the aesthetics and they don't really carry any substance or any weight behind them. They're just a bunch of pretty pictures that you find on Pinterest. So I have a reflection prompt and then a little section for you to set 30, 60, and 90-day goals, including why they matter to you, what action steps you're going to actually take to get there. And this is going to help you pick photos that are more effective on your vision board. You want photos that represent the action steps and the end goal. So a picture of you or somebody going for a walk, or a screenshot of the Apple Fitness rings like completed for the day to represent your step goal, a quote that motivates you, you in a pair of jeans, the pair of jeans that you want to fit into again, right? So they're pictures that move you. They ignite some sort of emotion and make you feel something that connect directly to your end goal. Because once you've clarified what the goal actually is and what's associated with it, the photo actually will mean something. It's not just a pretty picture anymore. And then the last thing that you're going to do to prep for Hot Girl Hibernation is a check-in, babe. Just check in. Weigh yourself in the morning. All of these things you're going to do in the morning, fasted, no food or water in your system after you go to the bathroom, okay? Weigh yourself, do your measurements, take a progress photo. I check in daily, weekly, and monthly, and I recommend you do the same. And I go over this a little bit more in the how to cut video that I posted, or that I mentioned earlier. I posted it like a week ago. But tracking your progress is such an important part of the process. I cannot stress this enough. If you don't know that the scale is moving, or if your measurements are changing, and you never look at photos of yourself side by side, it's impossible to know if the work that you're putting in is paying off. Then, by the end of the timeline that you've set for yourself on day 30, 60, 90, whatever, and you haven't been tracking, you're gonna step on the scale or do your measurements or take a progress picture and think like, fuck, I didn't make the progress that I wanted to make. So you need the data to know that you're moving in the right direction. So what I do is my weigh-in daily, first thing in the morning, my progress photos on Sundays, first thing in the morning with my weigh-in, and then once a month, I will do my measurements. That's typically how you're going to see change chronologically. The scale, while she's a tool and she's not always right, like on our luteal phase, we're going to see a spike, or if we have something more sodium heavy the day before, we're going to see a spike in the scale. But typically, like if you're eating in a calorie deficit, you're going to see the scale move, the decimal move quicker. You're going to see like, oh, I'm 0.1 down today than I was yesterday. Like little things like that show you that you're moving in the right direction. Progress photos weekly, because week by week, you can start to see minor changes in the details of your body, in the shape, in different muscle definitions, things like that. And then measurements monthly, because typically those are the things that are going to take the longest to change. You're not going to see, an inch drop from your waist in a week, but you might see an inch drop from your waist in a month. You know what I mean? I think the perfect example of this is the cut that I did in 2023. I was going insane. I was going insane because I could not figure out for the life of me why the scale wasn't moving. And it was my fault because I didn't weigh myself every day. I don't remember if my scale was broken or something happened, but I couldn't weigh myself daily, and I had 2 weeks apart that I weighed myself. And I got on the scale after 2 weeks. Bitch, it didn't move. It didn't fucking move. And I was like, I've been eating in my calorie deficit. I've been going to the gym consistently. I'm checking off all my boxes. What is going on? But it forced me to zoom out and fine-tooth comb, go through all of my habits and all of the stuff that I had been doing for those 2 weeks to figure out what's putting me over my deficit. Because if you're not losing weight and you're eating in a calorie deficit, you are not in a calorie deficit. There are exceptions to this rule, but I'm going to hold your hand. You are probably not the exception, and I knew that I wasn't the exception. And it turns out I was taking supplements every morning, and I was putting it into a drink format. And I wasn't tracking it. I don't know why, it just didn't click to me that the supplements had calories in them. I didn't even think about it. It was like apple cider vinegar, a scoop of fiber, and I think I was putting like emergency in there for like extra taste. And I thought I was eating in a 300 calorie deficit, but that drink alone was adding in 200 calories to my diet, and I wasn't tracking it. So I basically was eating at maintenance. So the scale wasn't moving. So weighing in every morning, doing your weekly progress pictures and monthly measurements gives you the data that you need to check in with yourself and adjust if something's not right. Zoom out, figure out what the issue, and course correct so you can actually see progress and not waste your goddamn time. Because that's what's gonna happen. Everything that we talked about in this video will be down in the description. All of the screenshots and screen recordings and all the things that I showed you as well are all from my app, so that will be down in the description. Thank you so much for watching. I am really excited to do this together. I love the idea of doing a little hibernation moment for the next couple of months, kind of exiting summer with our heads down, looking sexy as all hell for Halloween, and really just setting ourselves up mentally and physically for success going into the holiday season, because we all know how difficult that can be to be successful, not fall off of our goals during the holidays, and I don't want that to happen to you. You are less likely to fall off of your goals and your habits when you stick with them for a period of time, right? So for the next couple of months, the fact that you lock in for that period of time is going to make it that much more likely that you stick with them throughout the holidays. Even if you have to adjust a little bit to make it work, it just matters that you stick with it. Of course, I will make some content for you, make more videos like this talking about how to be successful during the holiday season when that time does come. So make sure you don't miss it by clicking the subscribe button. I never know how to ask you guys how to do that. I feel so uncomfortable. But hit the subscribe button. Like I said, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, and you want to Hot Girl Hibernate together, just drop that down into the comment section and I will get back to you in there.